Hello everyone, welcome to AI Anytime channel. In this video, we are going to look at the newly released Pixtral model. It's the first multimodal model by a French startup or a French AI first company called Mistral AI. Mistral has been one of the most backed startup right now when it comes to the open source AI space. They do have some commercials model as well that they are offering it through Mistral Cloud. Now, that's their first multimodal model. And recently we have been seeing a lot of multimodal models which have vision capabilities, that have visual groundings and so on and so forth. Ability for visual grounding, by the way. Now we saw QN2 VL recently by Alibaba Cloud, and now we are looking at Pixtral. So let's jump in and see how we can test it out and see some of the performances that we have. Now, if you look at here on my screen, I am on my Colab Pro and I'm using uh, I'm on excuse me I'm using Colab Pro and I'm using A100 GPU. That's what we're gonna use here. For Pixtral you need A100 minimal, on if you are on Google Colab Pro. H100 and etc will also work, but A100 is the minimal that you need because it's a 12B model that we're gonna use. Now I'm gonna write a few things over here quickly so you can have a read later on some of the high level info about it. So the high level info is it's a multimodal model. So I'm going to write multimodal model that can process text and image simultaneously. Text and image simultaneously. Okay. Now that's the first thing. The second is can process images of high quality. Now some of the multimodal models have restrictions on the image, the quality of image, like if you have 1024x 1024 images and those kind of things. So but it provides you that, so can process images of 1024 cross 1024. And context length, which is fantastic because the context length is 128k tokens, guys. So you can fit 128k tokens, one tokens, 4 characters, the standard one, in natural language ecosystem. So 128k context token can fit in the window when you are, using a prompt template. You can fit that, right? That's amazing. So it has context length of 128k context. So let me just write it. 128k tokens, by the way. Okay. Now that's amazing because if you want to build a good quality RAG, on multimodal LLMs, you can also do that. Some of the use cases that I have seen, for the results are good for OCR and information extraction, from, excuse me, OCR and info extraction. Uh, so this is not the first multimodal LLM, guys, that have good OCR and information extractions capabilities. We have IMP v3, Idefix 9B, Flamingo, Florence 2, and so many other open source multimodal LLMs that you should have a look. So this is among like the other that I just mentioned. So it's up to you what kind of compute you have and what can use on there. Now the next thing is you have to come to Pixtral, and here you have to it's a gated repository. It's a gated Hugging Face repository having an Apache 2.0 license. You can see Pixtral 12B, and here you have to basically, you know, uh, basically accept their agreement to basically access this repository. That's what you have to do. I have already done it, and that's why you see you have been granted access to this model. Files and version, you can find out this is the safe source 25.4 GB. So just make it 1.5x. Like you need at least 50 GB. I'll say it's good to be on 50 GB on the safer side to basically inference this model using VLLM and whatnot. So that's what I'm going to use this. You can see they also recommend VLLM library. That's what they have been saying over here. Now, once you do that, you have to install this. You can see what I have installed. I have installed Mistral Common and VLLM. VLLM is a library, if you don't know, that basically helps you with high throughput and memory efficient inference. You can see it over here, and serving engine. One of the most used library or framework right now when you want to inference large language models or any kind of AI model in general. You can see have around 26k star on GitHub repository, or 26k stars rather. That's fantastic. Now we're gonna use VLLM to basically use that. And You also need an HF token, by the way, and you can get that HF token from here. And if you come here in the, of course, I can delete it. So I'll show you how you can get an HF. I can see I have n number of HF token. I'm gonna create, or probably I will have an HF token here. Let's see that. Now you can see, let me have a check. It seems like I don't have an HF token, but I have bunch of tokens over here. So I need an HF token so I can add. So let me just come here and all you can do a read access here. I'm gonna say Pixtral demo and I will delete this. So I'll just create token, copy, done. And once the video is done, I'll delete that token. And I'm gonna write here HF token. So let me just do HF token and just paste the keys here. And that's it. We are good. You can again do it from here, or you can, enable it from user data.get as well from there, like import OS, and from Google Colab you can do that as well. Now once you are done with that, you upload an image and you start working it. So you can also set a maximum model length, and we're going to talk about it. Now let's see how we can inference this new Pixtral model over here. So let's import VLLM now. So what I'm going to do is from VLLM, you can see import LLM. You don't need sampling params for now. So you can just get that. And now you can initiate the LLM. So for that, I'm going to use LLM. And then I'm going to use, you can see it over here. It's showing me something. I don't need that one. So you write an LLM and then you define your model. Excuse me. Sorry, I have a bit of sore throat, guys. So excuse me for that. Now I'm gonna get this. Let's go back here at the Pixtral model. So I'm just gonna go back. Where is that? Okay, now this is the link. We get that link. Now once you define the model, you're gonna have a tokenizer. Mistral provides a tokenizer by default. Like they have their own tokenizer. If you're using with Llama model, I recommend use Llama tokenizer. If you're using with Mistral model, you use the Mistral tokenizer. So here I'm gonna define the tokenizer mode rather. Tokenizer mode, and you can define Mistral, so which is a string. So this is how it goes, Mistral, and within Mistral now you can have a max model length. See, model length is directly proportional to the compute. You can put 128k token, but I'm gonna put here max model length as like 4000. You should not put 128k. This is the entire context window, not only the maximum, uh, the length of the output or something. So you're gonna put max model length at 4000, and let's just run this. Cannot access gated repo for URL. Access to model HTTP, you must access to authentic. Okay, excuse me here. So what I'm going to do is, let me do that. So from Hugging Face Hub, import notebook login. I basically need to create that again. I forgot to copy and then I pasted somewhere. I forgot. Let me create a new access token. So let's go into the settings, access tokens. I'll delete this token. I'm just going to delete this token. I'm going to create a new token. Read uh, Pixtral model, and let's just create token here. I'm going to copy this, done, come back. Once you run this, you can just paste it over here. And now you can see the model has been started, like the model weights and files has been started downloading. It will take a bit of time. It will take bunch of it will download bunch of model weights and it will take a lot of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video here and come back once this is done. As you can see, the model weights have been downloaded successfully. It says consolidated safe tensors, blah blah blah. And now next what we're going to do is we're going to basically try it out. So let's define a prompt. I'm going to say describe the image in one sentence or something. This is my prompt, and I'm going to use some image from this repo that I have. I have an image repo on my GitHub where I try these complex images to test multimodal LLMs. So I'm just going to use some model from there. Now next is I'm going to have an image URL. So let me just do that. Excuse me. Okay, I have this image URL already. I pasted image URL. You can see this is an image URL that I have. Okay, it's an invoice image that I have. Bloody, this is not required. Okay, all right. I'm just gonna run this, and if you just run the image URL, it will show you the object. Okay, you can see this is the link, of the image URL. Now we're gonna define a prompt. system prompt, messages. Within the messages, I'm going to create a user role, and within this you're going to create a dictionary, and role user, pretty good but not how exactly I need it. So role user, and then I'm going to have a content, and content will again have a list. So you define content and then you define a list, and now within this list you're going to define your type text. First is type text, and that text is a prompt. So basically map that up. So we're going to map this. So text is prompt that you have defined on top. That's for the good rhyming. Type, and then the next. Okay, let me just okay, this is closed already. The next is type of image URL. You can also pass local images, image URL, and now this URL that you pass, it's not going to be comma. This URL that you pass is going to be now that you can see it's showing correctly image, and I'm just to wrap this up. Image URL is the URL, and that is your this image URL that you have defined. Now this is your messages. So let's just run this. You can see if I just print the messages, let's print the messages, and you can find out the entire thing over here, that has been passed. Now I'm asking to describe the image in one sentence. You can describe that in multiple sentences. This is the image that I have uploaded. It's in Hindi right now. It's an invoice. Okay, it's an invoice pro forma that we have in Hindi, and I should try it out. Uh, so I'm not going to say describe. Let's say extract. Extract the information from the image. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to try it out. It's a 12B model. It will perform well. If it doesn't perform, then it's all hyped. Okay. Message, because QN performs really well. With a very small 2B model was like fantastic. Okay. Uh, Now this is messages. I'm going to have an outputs, and then outputs LLM dot chat. And in LLM dot chat, I'm going to pass my messages and the sampling params. That's what VLLM is all about, guys. VLLM is all about the sampling parameters, the paged attention, and so on and so forth. Now sampling params, in the sampling parameters, you can pass out some maximum tokens, blah, blah, blah. Now here I'm going to pass out sampling params. And in the sampling params, I'm going to pass max tokens. Now let's pass the max tokens. Okay, 8192. That's what I'm passing here. So as a sampling params, as you can see, did I not? Okay. I forgot to import that. So from VLLM dot sampling params, I'm gonna import sampling param. That's why it was not showing me there. Okay, cool. That's what I was thinking. What's missing here? Okay, now let's run this. I can see it says processed prompts. It's right now processing the prompts, taking a bit of time, which is like surprising. I don't know why. Okay, and then I'm gonna write the next output. We're gonna pass the output. So I'm gonna have a print, and within this print, in this print I'm gonna write outputs, and then write the outputs, and then you get the text. Outputs, and then just get the text. Just get the text, you get the output. Okay, you can see it has extracted it. Okay, let me just come down. It has extracted beautifully. Let me open this. It says, what did it say here? Okay, let me. Disappointing. In Hindi, by the way. Okay, it's did everything in product code. Okay, quantitat. I don't know which language. Quantitat. Okay, this one. Okay, let me see if we can do it in Hindi. Uh, so I'm gonna say extract the information from the image in the extract the information in the same language from the image. I'm gonna test it out because I don't believe models which are hyped up. Some of the Mistral models are really hyped up. They are not that good, but the community has hyped up a lot. Okay, unnecessary hype is not required, guys. It's just a loss. Not be solving complex problem using those models anyway. So let me run this again, and then we can evaluate. The idea is to evaluate these models. Okay, releasing a model every day doesn't make any sense. Solving complex problems makes sense. uh, Now let's run this. because if this is the output, not at all satisfied because this is the wrong response altogether. Okay. Now let me just run this again. Okay. Uh, this is pathetic. Okay. Okay. No Hindi support. That's 12B model. Okay, stupidity, guys. 12B model. If no Hindi support, then it's not good. Okay, but anyway, moving up to the next one. So Hindi, it's failed. That's why I checked at this model. So not probably not a good multilingual model. Okay. The next is I have an architecture diagram, for RAG thingy that you see. So I'm just gonna copy this here, architecture diagram, come back, and here I'm going to change that just this thing. Everything remains same. I'm just gonna change architecture diagram.png, and I'm gonna say, can you explain the architecture diagram in step by step? And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna, rather than copying it, I hope I have taken a screenshot, but I'll take the screenshot again. I just take the screenshot. Okay. Now the next is, let's run this up. So let me just run. Okay, now you can see we have created our params, and let's run it and see what happens. If the topmost box is app UX, then app server. Orchestration is connected to app UX, app server. Orchestration is then connected with Azure AI Search and Azure OpenAI, both of which are connected to data sources. Guys, PR guys, PR is hyping up the AI community. It's PR. If these kind of outputs we will get it, if this prompt is not enough, do a better prompt and let me know what you get, for the same answers. For the same, sorry, for the same images. You can find out, this is a public URL, by the way, of this image repo is public. Okay. Go and test it out on this model. These images, using this model, and let me know if you find any other answer. We can improve this, architecture. Can you explain the architecture diagram? Or let me write one thing. Write a short article, by referring the diagram, okay, in at least 600 words. Okay, I'll also take screenshot. Otherwise, Mistral folks will say I'm just giving negative reviews or feedbacks. Okay, uh, I can just copy this, come here, paste, and keep it. Now let me go back. Okay, ask this messages. Messages are done. Let's get the messages, and now let's get the output. Hopefully this will write good, because creating, reflection is a good model for writing articles, and the long writer as well. Now let's see if it can write an article referring an architecture diagram. It will be good for us. It will good for the blog writers. If you are somebody who writes blog, then model like this can be really good, guys. So I'll recommend you try it out, these models. For writing, at least if it performs really well here. If it doesn't perform, then it's a no-no, by the way. Okay, it has written an article which looks good. Application user interface, app server, Azure AI search working mechanism. I like this one. I like this. This is fantastic. Okay, out of three, this is the best answer that I got so far. Okay, so let me just copy this thingy here completely, because it's going to be on LinkedIn after this. Okay, I'm gonna create this on LinkedIn. Okay, this is good, guys. Let's try out one more, okay, image, which is NVIDIA stock image that you see it over here. Let's see if it can interpret some numbers and how good it is in, numbers and with the mathematics thingy here. So let me just copy this. This is going to be our last thing. Okay, so let me just bring it up here. NVIDIA PNG image URL. Okay, I have to change this. Write a short article. No, not short article. Can you explain the image and list down all the findings? And now I'm just gonna run this. Let's run. Let's run. Let's run it. Okay. The image shows a detailed stock summary for NVIDIA Corporation on the Nasdaq GS exchange. Quoted in USD, the main information provided includes current stock price, market information, very organized. I liked it. Dividend information, race and analysis, action options, blah blah blah. This summary captures. This is good. I really liked it. Okay, this is the answer. So pretty good. Okay, mixed reaction, guys. I was disappointed by the Hindi invoice. Okay, probably not good for Hindi, but for other languages, you can try it out. Mix it with Japanese and Chinese or some European languages. Mistral is more European focused. It's based out of France, right? The other one that I asked for the explaining the architecture diagram was not that specific. It was very generic answer, but it written an article that was again generic, but it was good at least from a architectural perspective. You have an article that explains the high level of the image, but not going, because probably the missing some of the context as well. You have to give better context in the prompt and so on and so forth. But yeah, mixed reactions. Probably you can try it out with something else as well, guys. Some other images, and uh let me know what do you think of it. But yeah, uh if you have any question, thoughts, or any feedback, let me know in the comment box. You can also reach out to me through my social media channels. Find those information on channel banner and channel about us. If you like the content, please hit the like icon. If you haven't subscribed the channel yet, please do subscribe the channel, guys. That motivates me to create more such videos. The notebook will be available on my GitHub repository. I'll give the link in description. Let me know your findings, of Pixtral model, and what do you think about this new multimodal model by Mistral AI in the comment box. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.